Hello everyone. So I welcome you all to my channel Ashok Tutorials. Alright, and I'm very happy that our channel has now I think 251 subscribers we have now. So I'm very happy that my work is helping the Mtet aspirants. Alright, so it gives me immense pleasure when you comment, send emails to me. So these days I'm receiving a couple of emails as well, so I'm very happy and I'm able to help you, I guess. So today we are here to deal with paper 1 unit 5. All right, so this unit is all about inclusive education and children with special needs. So what are the different do's and don'ts, and what are the different principle concepts, meanings? So we shall be discussing in what are the different types of disabilities. All right, then what are the different areas as teachers we have to focus on. So all this entire thing we will be learning today, right? So let us begin. So inclusive education and children with special needs. See, when you are writing your Mtet exam, you will not get the full form like children with special needs. There you will just it will be just written that CWSN. So what do you understand by CWSN, or who are CWSN? So you have to know this very well, that CWSN means the children with special needs. These are the specially abled children, all right, who are specially abled. So in this unit we will be learning about concepts, meaning of inclusive education. So all about inclusive education we will be learning in this particular video. Then we will be also learning about difference between integrated and inclusive education. See, many of us we have the misconception that integrated and inclusive education means the same, but my dear friends, it's not the same. So that is why this topic is included here, so that we don't get misguided by these two terms, that is integrated and inclusive education. Now we will also be learning about understanding disability and types of disabilities. So we will be studying different types of disabilities with which the children have, right? So as teachers it will not be possible for us to know each and every disease the child might have, but then yes, there are certain ways by which we can find out the major ones, all right, and accordingly we can lend our helping hands to the learners, right? Then we will also be studying about understanding exceptional students. See, all the students are not same, right? In the classroom all the students are not same. Some are talented, some are creative, some are slow learners, and some are underachievers, right? So different type of students sit in our classroom. So therefore we as teachers we have to be very careful with the type of words we are using inside the classroom, right? So one is talented, then it does not mean the other one sitting next to him will also be talented, all right? Some of the students are very slow in learning, some of them are very slow in speaking, some of them are very slow in writing. So all these factors have to be taken care when we deal with the learners, all right? So let us start. Now let us see what do we mean by concepts, meaning of inclusive education. So inclusive education is an approach to education that aims to provide equal opportunities and access to education for all children, including those with disabilities or special needs. See, here in the very first sentence it says that by inclusive education we mean that the education should be provided to all the students, right, to all the children, including those children which have special needs or the specially abled children. See, these days we don't use the word handicap or disabled. So we don't call the people like that these days. What we have to call them is, we have to say, suppose in your classroom there is a child who is who have problem with his eyes, and there is also another child who is not able to walk, right? One of his one of his leg is one of his leg is not properly developed, right? So here we don't say that, hey, this child is handicapped or this child is disabled. We don't say that. All right, so what word we use is that we say these are specially abled children. Specially abled is the term we use for such kind of individuals. All right, so we don't say handicap. Never use the word handicap. We have to say specially abled, because they also have different abilities, right? So it promotes the idea that every student, regardless of their abilities or background, should be able to participate and learn together in the same classroom or educational settings. See, as I have also explained in my previous videos, that all the students sitting in our class, they are not coming from the same family or from the same society. So they are coming from different backgrounds, different family background, different cultural background, different financial backgrounds, right? So we have to deal with, because of this, the approach which we will be using in order to teach them should not be same or should not be monotonous, right? If it is monotonous, it will be beneficial for one and may not be beneficial for five, right? So we have to be very careful in using certain tactics and study materials, right? Then inclusive education focuses on creating an inclusive and supportive learning environment that accommodates the diverse needs of all the students, fostering their academic, social and emotional development. So what do we understand by inclusive education? By inclusive education, we understand that it includes the supportive learning environment which accommodates the diverse, the various, the different needs of all the students, fostering to their academic area, social area and emotional development. So different types of development we have already studied: physical development, cognitive development, emotional development, social development, right? So all those spheres of life or areas of development are also taken care of in inclusive education. So I hope this is clear, right? So let us go to the next one, that is difference between integrated and inclusive education. So let us see here, what do we actually understand when we say integrated and what do we actually understand when we say inclusive. So as I was saying that we get like some misconceptions are there, like many of us, we think that integrated and inclusive is the same, but it is not the same. So let us see how it is not the same, why it is not the same. Let's see. So integrated education refers to the practice of placing students with disabilities or special needs into regular classroom or schools where they receive some support and accommodation to participate in the general curriculum. However, the support and resources provided may be limited and the emphasis is on adapting the student to fit into the existing educational system. So here it says that integrated education refers to the practice of placing students with disabilities or special needs into the regular classroom, which means that, see, basically what do we have? We have the we have the normal type of schools, right? We don't have the special schools, many. So what happens when we say that integrated education is provided? It means that the same like different categories of children will study in the same classroom. Some of them are differently abled, right? So many of them are differently abled or children with special needs. So all of them will be studying with the students who have who are very normal in their physical and mental growth. All right, so this is what it means, that in normal classroom only all the different type of children will sit together and study, right? Then However, the support and resources provided may be limited. So here, see, suppose if somebody is visually impaired, for him or her, the braille is needed, right? The braille is needed. So maybe the braille might not be available. Then some might have a problem in hearing. So for them, the hearing aid might not be there. So so it is basically talking about the limitations which the children may have when they are studying in an integrated education system, right? So once, on the other hand, let us see now. On the other hand, see, I have tried to put a picture for you so you can just see. So on the other hand, inclusive education goes beyond mere placement and aims to create an inclusive environment that supports the needs of all children. So here it says that inclusive education goes beyond. Here in inclusive education, what happens is that we create an environment which supports the children with special needs and the children without special needs. So inclusive education involves adapting teaching methods. See, inclusive education is more wide, right? Is more wide. So inclusive education involves adapting teaching methods. The teacher should adapt his teaching strategies, different strategies he should adapt, different approaches he or she should try, right? Then different type of teaching aids should be brought, and different curriculum should be framed, and classroom environment to accommodate the diverse need of the students. So the classroom environment should be a very positive one. If the classroom environment is not positive, see what happens, the students, if they are not taught well or they are not educated well, the children without special needs may mistreat the specially abled children, right? They might ill-treat them. So we as teachers, we have to be smart enough to understand that the children without special needs, they understand how to deal, how to love, how to care for their fellow friends who are specially abled, right? And this is our duty as teachers, to educate the children. So it focuses on removing barriers and providing appropriate support to ensure that all students can fully participate and benefit from education on an equal basis. See, here it says that physical barriers, the barriers should be removed. So the ramps, the best example is ramp, no? So in these days, you can see whenever you go to good schools or inclusive educational institution, you will see that the ramp is built along with the staircases. Now you might be wondering why the ramps are built. The ramps are built so that the child who is not able to walk can be taken easily in the wheelchair to the classroom, right? And those with difficulty in walking, they can get the help of that wheelchairs and can be transported or can be taken from one classroom to another or wherever they want to go, right? And also one of the most important thing I want to share is bala. This is not that bala this is another bala. So bala means building as learning aids. So I went last time in Shillong to one KVS, and I have seen that they practice bala. So bala, what does bala means? Bala means building as learning aids. So as teachers and as educators, what do we have to do? We have to make use of the building. So these days you will see in almost every school, you'll see that they are painting the buildings, right? They are painting the buildings with different cartoons or different mathematical formulas or different scientific names or different animals or map or different hygiene related pictures. So these things are practiced these days. For example, last time I was surprised to see the staircase. No, in staircase it was written, all the multiplication table was written there. So see, why we have to do that? See, when a student is walking down or up the staircase, he or she will automatically observe that, and unconsciously he or she will read that, right? Will read that, and that thing will go into his or her mind, And also we in the classroom, we have different type of charts. The students, they make the chart and we put it in the classroom. Why? So that it can act as learning aids, right? So bala means basically painting and drawings in the building, and like building itself becomes a learning source for the learners, right? So you can see these pictures, no? You see these are specially abled children. See this one, then again you see this one. So these are, some of them are specially abled, however some of them are the children without special needs. So you can see there this little girl here, she is a girl without special needs. The next one is also without special needs, however you can see this boy here and also the one on the wheelchair. So they are specially abled children, right? Then now let us see understanding disability and types of disability. So we will understand now what are disabilities and what are its types. So disability refers to physical, cognitive, sensory or emotional impairment that affects a person's ability to engage in everyday activities. There are various types of disabilities including, so here see, basically whenever we hear the word disability, we tend to understand that it means physical. Maybe the leg is not properly working, or maybe the child is not able to stand, or maybe the child's hand is like not properly developed. So these things we understand, right? Physical, we pay more attention to physical disability only, but it is not so. So as the world is advancing, as the educational system is advancing, and as teachers we are advancing, so we have to know that disability does not only mean the physical one, it means the physical one as well as the cognitive one. Cognitive means mental disabilities, right? So mental disabilities are also there. Then sensory, some of them, they do not have the senses, they don't feel, right? And emotional impairment, some of the emotional impairments is also seen in certain individuals. All right, then let us see different type of disabilities. So physical, first of all let's see physical. So these disabilities affect a person's mobility or physical functioning. Example include conditions such as cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy or spinal cord injuries. See, physical, by the very term physical, you understand that this disability has something to do with the physical movement or the mobility of the individual. So here the individual who is having physical disabilities is not able to move properly, is not able to walk properly, right? And they have conditions or they have problems known as cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy or spinal cord injuries. That's why they are not able to walk or run. All right, they are not able to do the physical activities up to the extent which the people without physical disabilities can do. Now let us see here I have put a picture of, see, who is she? Yes, who is she? Yes, correct, she is Anushka Sharma, right? So I have taken this picture of her to let you know that I don't know whether you have watched or not the Zero movie, you know, Bollywood movie where Shah Rukh Khan is there. So in that movie, the Anushka Sharma, no, she have the problem of cerebral palsy. So her character displays a person with cerebral palsy. So you can always watch this movie whenever you get time, right? So now this one, then everybody knows, right? Do I need to tell you who is this or from which movie is this? I don't have to, right? You know very well. And as teachers, we love this movie very much. This is one of our favorite movies, right? So yes, even mine. I love this movie very much. And you know, this movie should be shown to all the educators, so that this movie basically says that we should not give up, right? just because a student is not learning, it does not mean that he or she is not interested. They have different problems, different family backgrounds, social backgrounds and cultural backgrounds. So we as teachers should give some extra effort and try to find out what is the reason why this particular student is not able to concentrate in the class, why he or she is an underachiever, or why he or she is a slow learner, right? So this picture is taken from the movie Tare Zameen Par, and this movie, this Ishan Avasthi, he is suffering from dyslexia. He is suffering from dyslexia. Now let us see, what do we mean by dyslexia? So dyslexia means inability to read. See, whenever he tries to read, what happens? The letters, they dance, right? The letter starts dancing. He write B as D, right? B as D. So for him it looks the same, right? B also looks like D, D also looks like B. So he gets confused. So this is the problem he has. Then cognitive disabilities affect a person's thinking, reasoning and learning abilities. Now see here, cognitive disability, cognitive means mental disability, means mentally retarded. So here what happens, see, whenever we are not mentally fine, what will happen is that we will not be able to think properly, we will not be able to reason out, we will not be able to figure out, and we will not be able to learn, right? We will not be able to learn. So this is what happens in case of Ishan here. So examples includes intellectual disabilities and specific learning disabilities. So if some of the example has to be given for cognitive disabilities, it will be like intellectual disabilities and specific learning disabilities like dyslexia or attention deficit hyper disorder. Now you might be wondering, some of you, what is this attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD? So this ADHD is nothing but this is a kind of disorder which we see almost every day in almost in every class. So here in this case what happens, the student will focus for 5 minutes, after that he will become hyperactive. He will look at his friends, smile, he will throw papers to his friends, he'll fold the paper, make the ball and throw here and there, he will look outside, he will look at you and smile. So what is this? This is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So here what happens, the child is very active, hyperactive, all right, lots of energy is there. So he don't want to sit quietly in a single place or in a specific place. He wants to move around, right? He's hyperactive, is not able to sit. So this is also a kind of disabilities which we say as ADHD, right? Let's see next one. Sensory disabilities. So senses. So what are the senses we have? Hearing, ear for hearing, right? Nose for smelling, so eyes for vision. So here what happens, sensory disabilities refer to impairment related to senses. See, the impairment or the problem related to senses. So this includes visual impairment. See, visual impairment is very common, right? Even in examination, whenever we go to write exam, we see that visually impaired also the the provision is provided, right? They are also given the equal opportunity. See, when we write exams, especially that of MBOS exam, final exams, what we see, there are some sections which are specially dedicated to visually impaired, right? So that is what happens, a blindness or low vision. See, visually impaired does not mean the individual is blind, totally blind, it does not mean so. It means that the individual might be having low vision or may have issues in seeing what a normal person can see easily. He or she might not be able to do so. And hearing impairment, example deafness or hearing loss. See, now hearing impairment does not mean the individual is completely deaf. It means that he or she might have lost the power of hearing. He or she might not be able to hear that much as you can. So we have to go near to that individual's ear and we have to shout. So that is the problem of hearing impairment. So hearing impairment and visual impairment, these are the two sensory disabilities you have to remember. All right, now here another celebrity is here, huh? Now let's see emotional and behavioral disabilities. So emotional and behavioral disabilities involve difficulties in regulating emotions and behavior. Emotional and behavior disabilities, right? So emotional and behavioral disabilities involve difficulties in regulating emotions and behavior. All right, this may include conditions such as autism spectrum disorder, emotional disturbances, or mental health disorder. So all right, so see, emotion, we all understand about emotion and behavioral disabilities. Some of us are not emotionally mature. So what do? We try to express our anger in a wrong way. That is not good. It is not good because 1 minute of anger leaves you for 100 years of regrets, right? So just if you can control your anger for a minute, you can save your your relationship, which will last for your lifetime. So we should be emotionally stable. We should be able to control our anger, especially this is the most negative emotion I feel. And then we should be able to control our emotions when we are hurt or when we are sad, right? And so these are certain emotions we have to control. And also behavior. So some of us, we have behavioral disabilities also, right? We do not know how to behave well in front of the teacher, in front of the students, in front of the parents, elders, friends. So that is also a problem. So here, see, one best example is given is emotional and behavioral disabilities. The best example given here is autism. So friends, do remember this name autism, and I could not write anything on this specifically, so I would like you to search and study about autism. So this disease, this disability is important from exam point of view, so they always ask, right? So here, whom do you see here? She is, yes, correct, she is Priyanka Chopra, right? And here in this movie called Barfi, Bollywood movie, here she displayed the role of an autistic individual, which means she have the problem of autism. So how does an autistic individual behave? If you want to know, you should go and watch this movie, right? Now let's see. Here are some brief explanation of specific learning disabilities. All right, great. So here specific disabilities are given. For example, dyslexia. Now what is dyslexia? So dyslexia we have seen in case of Ishan, right? Ishan, yes, that is an input. So dyslexia is a specific learning disability that primarily affect reading skills. Yes, as I was saying, he was not able to read. So whenever he want to read, the letter starts dancing, right? The letters start dancing, playing, wandering here and there, coming out of the book. So he sees the letters in that way. It becomes very difficult for him to find out which letter is what. For him, the letters are dancing. So it involves difficulties with accurate and fluent word recognition, decoding, and reading comprehension. So exactly what is shown in the movie Tare Zameen Par, everything is written here, right? So he is not fluent with word recognition. He cannot recognize that B is B. He sees B as D and D as B, right? So ulta fulta he used to write. Then individual with dyslexia may have challenges with letter and word reversal, reading fluency, spelling, and understanding written text. So these are certain difficulties or challenges and a person with dyslexia may have, like spelling, he or she might not be able to write. See, one more example was given there, like was, we write W-A-S, was, right? And he write was as so, S-A-W. In place of W-A-S, he write it as S-A-W. So these are certain problems or challenges an individual with dyslexia faces. So we should be kind enough to our friends if we notice any of these symptoms in them, right? We should be kind to them. Now dyscalculia. See, Friends, these whatever I am reading now, I think 5 or 6 I have taken here, like dyslexia, dyscalculia. So these things are very important for your Mtet. All right, they always ask this kind of disabilities in exams, like if an individual is having problem with numbers, what kind of disability the individual is suffering from. So in that case, you should say it is dyscalculia. By the name itself, you will understand that it is related something with calculations, right? So calculations. So dyscalculia is a specific learning disability that affect mathematical abilities. So where do we do calculations? We do calculations in mathematics, right? So in dyscalculia, the individual have problem with mathematical abilities. Individual with dyscalculia may struggle with number sense, understanding mathematical concepts, memorizing arithmetic facts, and performing calculations. Difficulties with sequencing, spatial awareness, and organizing of numbers are common. See here, don't compare yourself that you have dyscalculia. And as science teacher and maths teacher, I know that we all have problem with mathematics, right? I don't know about other states, but we as Meghalayans, we have problem like we are always scared of mathematics and science, right? And see, we are so scared that I think these days we don't give importance to mathematics, and mathematics has already become a fourth subject, which means you will pass your metric examination even if you fail in mathematics, right? We are so scared of it, but it does not mean that we are suffering from dyscalculia, right? So that is just the fear we have. So this is also a point to be noted. Then we have here dysgraphia. See, now I would like you to pay a little attention here. See, graphia, graph. So what do we understand by graphia? Whenever we say graph, it means something related to writing. It means something related to writing. So you have to be smart enough to understand whenever it is talking about graphia, dysgraphia, it is something to do with writing. You should know. So dysgraphia is a specific learning disability that impacts writing skills, see, as I said. So it involves difficulties with the mechanics of writing, such as handwriting, spelling, and organizing thoughts on paper. People with dysgraphia may struggle with legible handwriting, forming letters and words, maintaining consistent spacing, and expressing ideas in writing. See, now again, don't think because your handwriting is bad, you are having dysgraphia, or because you're not able to, you're not able to write legibly, that you are suffering from dysgraphia. It is not so. And don't take it that the student who is in class nursery or KG is suffering from dysgraphia because they have just started writing, right? They have just started writing, so their handwriting will be bad only. But whenever you see like the students, their classes are increasing, but their handwriting is not improving, the handwriting is very bad, you cannot read, you don't feel like reading his or her handwriting. So in that case, you should be sensible and you should be more sensitive towards that particular child. Then they also have problem with words, right? And they are not able to express the ideas in writing, like for example, we have essay writings, right? So in essay writing, what do? We express our ideas, our point of views about certain topics, right? Then we have letter writings, we have paragraph writing. So all these type of writings, application writings, so all these type of writings, they help us to develop our creative writing skills, right? So person with dysgraphia have the issue with writing, right? Now let us see dyspraxia. This also, I think during my examination, my Mtet exam, it came dyspraxia. So dyspraxia, also known as developmental coordination disorder. What is this? DCD, which means developmental coordination disorder. So it is a specific learning disability affecting coordination and motor skills. So what do we understand by the word coordinate? So coordinate means to do something in relation to other, right? To coordinate. And motor skills, so whenever you hear the word motor, it means something to do with mobility, something to do with movement, right? So individuals with dyspraxia may have challenges with fine motor skills, example tying shoelaces, using utensils, right? See, and gross motor skills, example, running, jumping. See, I want you to take a serious note of these two terms here, that is fine motor skills and gross motor skills. Whenever you hear the word fine motor skills, it means the muscles, the small muscles of the body which we use to do certain small things. The small muscles of the body are involved here. For example, the best example is writing. So when we are writing, we are using fine motor skills, right? When we are tying our shoes, when we are tying our necktie, when so what are we doing? We are using the fine motor skills, right? Or the small muscles of the body we are using. And gross motor skills means we are using the large muscles of the body. For example, running. See, we don't run with only our toes, right? We run with our leg, the entire body, right? It jumps, we jump and run. So the entire body is involved in the process of running. The hand is moving, the leg is moving, the hand is swinging, right? So all the entire big muscles of the body are involved. That's why we say gross motor skills, and fine motor skills means the small body muscles are involved. For example, in writing. Now, difficulties with planning and executing movement, spatial awareness and organizing may also be present. So difficulties with planning and executing movements. So there might be some, since they say no, coordination might not be there, so hand-eye coordination might not be there. So hand-eye coordination is very much needed, right? So suppose when we are writing with a hand, but our eyes should also be able to see what we are writing, right? We don't close our eyes and write, right? We open eyes and see and watch. We are using our brain at the same time we are using our eyes, at the same time we are using our fine motor skills, that is fingers, right? The small muscles of the body. Then here also in dyspraxia, it does not mean, see, I also have problem in tying necktie, no? So those my dear friends, those who don't know how to tie a necktie, don't think that you are suffering from dyspraxia. It is not so, right? Then let us see auditory processing disorder. See, by the word itself you understand auditory means what? Audio, right, means sound. So auditory processing disorder, that is APD. So auditory processing disorder is a specific learning disability that affects how the brain processes auditory information. Individuals with APD may struggle with distinguishing and interpreting sounds, following verbal instructions, and filtering out background noise. This can impact their ability to understand spoken languages and may affect reading and spelling skills as well. So here, when an individual is suffering from APD, they may have problem in differentiating different sounds, right? Following a verbal instruction. Suppose if I am angry and I shout, hey, go out of the classroom, and that person might not feel so that I said this angrily. So they do not understand, like they misinterpret, because they do not understand the verbal instruction given to them. If I say come here, the child will not come, he will just look at me, he will not come, he is not able to catch what I'm trying to say, and they are not able to filter out the background noise, which means that suppose we are sitting in a classroom and there are noises outside, maybe construction is going on, construction of the building is going on, so that child will not be able to concentrate in what I am teaching. Instead, the child will concentrate on the background noise. So this can impact their ability to understand spoken languages. See, when they are having APD, they might not be able to understand what is being spoken to them, and also this may affect their reading skills and spelling skills. They might have issues with spelling and issues with readings as well. So now let us see understanding exceptional students, that is talented children, creative, slow learners, and underachievers. So we shall study about them now. So exceptional students refer to students who have unique characteristics or abilities that distinguish them from the average student population. here are some categories of exceptional students. See, as the name is written already, some students might be talented, some might be very creative, some might be very slow learners, and some might be underachievers. Right? So let us see by this one I don't have to explain, only you understand by the term itself, right? So talented students means they are talented. So talented students exhibit exceptional abilities in specific areas such as academics. See, we cannot only say the topper of our class that you are talented. We cannot say. The talented might also be someone who is very good at arts, right? Art does not mean only drawing, it can be music as well. So suppose that particular student is very good at playing guitar, or very good at playing music, or very good at singing, then there might be another student who is very good at sports, playing football and cricket, or there might be some student who are very good at leading their friends or leading the school assemblies, for example. So they have different talents does not mean, see, what we think, oh, this guy is talented, this boy is talented, means he is very good at studies, he is a topper of the class. No, that is not talent. Talent can be anything. Talent can be art, talent can be sports, and talent can be leadership skills. So whenever we say talented, we mean all these domains, right? It cannot be only a single academic performance. They often require enrichment activities or advanced educational opportunities to nurture and develop their talent. See, these people who are gifted or who are exceptional or talented, they like challenges. So they always want something or the other in order to advance their skills, right? In order to advance their skill and nurture whatever they know and develop their talents further. So creative students, now let us see who are creative students. So see, by the word itself, again you understand. So creative students demonstrate high levels of imagination, originality, and problem solving skills. They often think outside the box and may excel in areas such as art, music, creative writing, or innovation. So here creative students demonstrate high level of imagination. So the creative, see, what is creativity? The creativity is imagination, right? Creativity means imagination. We are able to imagine, and we do something, we do whatever we do in original. Suppose you're writing a song, so that song will be the original one. It will come from your imagination. It will come from your mind, right? You will imagine it. And problem solving skills are also there in creative students, and they often think outside the box. They do not think what the other think, they think other way around, right? They don't go with the flock. See, there is a saying, no, the bird of same feather flocks together. So they don't believe in that. They don't flock together with their friends. So whatever they are interested in, they take it they take it themselves, and they take the leadership of the things they are interested in, and they try to excel in that area, right? And what can be the areas? The examples given here is art. So as I said, some of the students, they are very good at drawing, right? Painting, sketching. So they draw, they paint, and they sketch. And some of them will be very good at music, maybe playing violin, maybe playing drums, guitar, flute, singing, right? Then creative writing, some of them are very good at writing poems, some of them are good at writing stories, some of them are good at writing essays. So all these things are taken into account when we talk about creative students. And also innovation, so they have the ability to think differently, they have the ability to create, they are the creator, right? So they can create different areas in which they are interested. Accordingly, they can create their own imaginative piece of art, right? So slow learners, now here comes slow learners. So slow learners, so everyone, like almost everybody at some point of time has been slow learner, right? So slow learners are students who require additional time and support to grasp and understand academic concepts. So here, who are slow learners? So when we are talking about slow learners, we mean that these students need additional time, they need additional amount of guidance, they need additional amount of support or help in order to grasp the concept which has been discussed, for example, in the classroom. The other students, the normal students, the average students, they will understand, but the slow learners, it will be very difficult for them to understand, right? They may have a slower processing speed or difficulty in keeping pace with the regular classroom instructions. They benefit from differentiated instructions and individualized learning strategies. So see, what do we say these days? Your processor is slow, we say, right? If somebody is not responding immediately. So here they say that slower processing speed, so they are not able to process, their mind is not able to process what is being said to be done. So they don't understand, they understand, but then they take time, right? Suppose his friend will understand immediately that sir is asking us to write down whatever is writing on the board, but that child will take time in order to understand what is being told to be done. And they benefit, see, they don't benefit when we are dealing with them in groups. However, they deal or they understand when we deal with them in private, or when we deal with them in person, like one by one, one-on-one. When we do, suppose if that child is having problem in something, if I go personally and if I help him out individually, he will understand better as compared to in groups. Right, now underachievers. Now who are underachievers? Let us see who are underachievers. So underachievers are students who perform below their potential or expectations despite having the ability to perform at higher level. See, these underachievers, we can also be underachievers, right? Because we have the potential, we have the abilities, but we are not able to do up to the mark. So these kind of individuals are known as underachievers, right? Underachievers, they have the potential, they have the capacity, but they are not able to do it. They may face various challenges such as lack of motivation, low self-esteem, or learning difficulties. So what might be the reason for underachievement? So the reasons can be the challenges, different kind of challenges, like lack of motivation. See, many of our students, they do not have motivation, they do not have aim in life, they do not plan for their future, they do not think for the future, right? They just study because they have to study, they don't have any intention. So we as teachers, we should be able to motivate them, we should be able to guide them, we should be able to inspire them. All right, so whenever you see any students, they do not have any kind of motivation, so we should be able to help them out. See, last time as I was making student portfolio, I have written there, write down 3 good qualities you have. And you know what my students said? They started laughing, sir, I don't have any good quality, not even one I have, and how will I write 3? So why this happens? This happens because they have low self-esteem, right? So this is also one problem we as teachers, we can help the learners to deal with. So like low self-esteem is low self-respect, like they think like they are good for nothing, they are good for nothing, they can't do what they want to do, they cannot do because they lack the potential, or maybe they lack the guidance, or maybe their friend circle is not so there can be different factors because of which the individuals might be having low self-esteem. Then learning difficulties. See, learning difficulties is a general problem. Almost everyone have the learning difficulties, right? They are not able to learn in the same pace, and they are not able to understand the concept taught to them at one go. So these kind of difficulties are always there. Now supporting underachievers involves identifying their specific needs and providing targeted intervention to help them reach their potential. See, here as teachers, we can help out these underachievers by understanding what is the problem or what are the challenges they are facing, and accordingly we can take up the steps to help them, to guide them, right? So we as teachers, we should take the initiative because we are the one who can change the society with our positive attitude, with our feedbacks, with whatever the knowledge we have, we can share it, right, with the learners. So we should be open, we should be approachable, and we should not be monotonous, and we should always try different ways in which we can make our studies interesting more and more. We can use visual aids, audio aids, right, and hands-on activities, and we can take the students outside for excursion, we can take them out for picnics, we can take them outside for to botanical gardens, to zoos, to parks, to ponds, and to aquariums. What do you call aquarium only, I think, right? So in different places we can take the students out. See, learning should not be boring, it should not be inside the classroom, it should not be inside the four walls always. So learning takes place even outside the classroom. That what we should believe as teachers, and we should strive for it. And we as teachers, I believe that one day we can like in other countries, teachers, they are, what to say, they are treated as VIPs, right? So I hope in our country as well, one day we will be treated that way, what we deserve. So I think this is all in this video, and thank you each and every one of you for contributing to my channel's likes, subscribers, sharing, liking. So you are doing everything possible. So I can see that every day, I'm so happy. Every day around 5 to 6, 10 subscribers I get. So I'm very happy that more and more people are connecting with me, and they are able to watch my channel, and they are able to watch my videos and gain something or the other. And as I said in my very first video, that you will not need to buy any book in order to pass your Mtet examination. I will be helping you. So as much as possible, see, I am also not that free these days. I'm very busy. My schedule is all very tight, so I'm not that much available. But yes, whenever I am free, I will try my best to make the video for you before the next Mtet examination comes. I will try my best to finish all the syllabus. Let's see how it goes. So I hope that it can be done before the next Mtet examination. So thank you everyone for keeping in touch, and please do comment, please do mail me. I really like to see your mail, and I really like to look and read your comments and reply if it is relevant. So thank you everyone for being here, and until next time, keep watching Ashok tutorials. Thank you everyone.